Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala syarfil anbiya mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, in the previous video I have given you some idea of how brain wave research in terms of EEG and functional MRI can actually give us an understanding of the state of our brain waves as well as the state of our mind. That means the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Alright, and how this is linked back to coherence and synergy, which I explained to you. So I have explained earlier that we have a number of brainwave pattern in terms of cycle per second because of the electromagnetic brainwave that the brain generate. In fact, the brain generate enough electromagnetic wave. The highest rate of actually electromagnetic wave that generate out into us is from the heart. The heart actually can reach out up to for those people whose aura is very strong, can go very far out, but they have measured as high as 10 meters away. So if somebody who has a very strong heart, the cult is strong, all right, it can reach out and they can measure that. But for the wave we use EEG for the brain. So as I mentioned that we have people who are under stress, they will have a high beta wave. So we start with beta wave that is from 13 to 50 cycles per second. High beta, those who are under stress, they have, for example, they are frustrated, they have anguish, they have problem in their life, they are on addiction, they are run short of, for example, like people addict who are not getting their drug, they will have this situation. That's why addict, they cannot escape from going back to their drugs, whether they are alcohol addiction or cigarette addiction or drug addiction, even pornography addiction, video addiction and so on. So because of this high beta, they are frustrated, they're just in a state of uncomfortable difficulties because they don't have this calming hormones coming to them. All right, so that's why we must bring down to, if we are doing our work, naturally we have the mid beta, and low beta is when we are calm, relaxed and so on. We have serotonin flowing into our system, our brain. So for beta and alpha, this is our conscious mind, and this is constitute only 5%. Remember, our conscious mind only constitute 5%. Then from alpha, it overlaps because beta and alpha, theta, delta and gamma, it is subconscious mind, and this constitutes 95%. So you can see that our nature of our human self in terms of our habit, our behavior, our thinking, our things that we do is controlled by the subconscious mind. So we have this alpha, theta, delta, which link together with the beta and alpha wave, give us our total thinking capacity. But our total thinking capacity, if we look from the perspective of Islamic metaphysics, we can call this is Aqal al-Juzi. That means all these things are the manifestation of the brain waves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created that give us this Aqal al-Juzi. That means this Aqal that is looking at all the necessary conscious, subconscious mind within this dunya, within what we do. But how is Aqal al-Juzi linked to Aqal al-Kuli? Aqal al-Kuli is linked to our SEMP state. That means we are living, this Aqal al-Kuli is actually the SEM. This is the M that is linked here. So the S spiritual, the Roh, the Qalb, the Aqal al-Kuli and the Aqal Juzi constitute this Aqal. The SEM are the natural state in terms of what Allah, when Allah ordained our existence, even at the realm of Azali, at that point we have this consciousness. So that consciousness, we have an Aqal there. So that Aqal, where Allah asks us, am I not your Lord? And we say, yes, Bala, we witness you. So we have this faculty of Aqal al-Kulli. So the spiritual, emotional, mental, Roh, Qalb, Aqal, as we talk today, all right, constitute all these things plus all that is up there. So when we look at the nature of Islamic psychology, we have the coherence at many levels. That means we have the coherence at the coherence at the spiritual, emotional, mental and physical level. So this coherence is important for us to understand, because if we don't have coherence at any of this level, then we will not have enough. For example, for Muslims, if we want to have higher level of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of our iman, Islam and ihsan, then our roh, our qalb, our aqal and our jasad must all be in servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means our ubudiyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be such that everything is coherent. Now there are research within the secular field where they say, okay, you must have this physical coherence. That means you must have a good, to get your physical coherence in which you are not the manifestation of all the incoherence in terms of your mind, your heart and your spirituality will be manifested in your body, because your body is a physical body that manifests your state. So the state of unhappiness, how do you see? I say, okay, somebody says, I'm not happy. It is just a terminology, not happy, but the physical body will show that he's not happy. Why? The heart starts palpitating, or he is sad, his eyes is down, or he looks very weak, and so on. So all the physical organ is actually following the command of this statement, I am not happy, and it is manifested in the physical body. So that's why in Islam we have this ibadah. The ibadah not only just zikr in the heart, but we must do the prayer. So our prayer consists of the physical body. We do our sujud, we do our takbirul ihram and so on as our way. So the coherence in terms of the Islamic perspective must be such that we must understand that we start at the highest level, that is spiritual coherence in terms of iman, Islam and ihsan. Then our heart, our qalb will be in contact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will give it a wave, all right? Because now heart, mind coherence, now you have a lot of research being doing now. And heart, mind, physical body coherence, there's a lot of research here. So when they are coming closer and closer towards Islam. All right, so inshallah, if there are Muslim scholars, or we have these Muslim universities, we have all these EEG machine, functional MRI, you have all the psychologists, do some research, because they have done research in terms of heart, mind coherence now. There's a lot of papers on that being published in international journal. All right, and then they have the heart, mind and physical body manifestation in terms of this coherence. 1, 2, 3. What we need to bring is the spiritual coherence to the emotional coherence, to the mental coherence, to the physical coherence, and that brings us to a wonderful state which Islam promises. Allah tells us about what? About joy, about happiness, about goodness, about love, mercy, compassion. All those affect those states, because when they did deep meditation, in terms of example, they do compassion meditation. This is done by our Buddhist group. They do this thinking of compassion, and they see this, all this brainwave coherence affecting their mind and affecting their higher subconscious or supraconscious in their perspective. But it is so wonderful. They feel peaceful, they feel calm, they feel happy, they feel lost in their meditation, and they have a higher level of coherence in terms of the brain waves. All that are physical manifestation which they can measure with the EEG machine and MRI and all the other systems that they're running. So what is important is for us to understand that when we talk about these brainwave things, that we Muslims has the most comprehensive model of life in this dunya and in the akhirah. And believe me, as they go higher and higher level of understanding of the nature of the human self in terms of the study of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and nature of reality of the existence of this world, they will then come nearer and nearer to understand that what we propose in terms of the Islamic model is the truth. وَقُلْ جَالْ حَقُّ وَزَحَكَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. This is the truth, and that truth constitutes the understanding of our four realms of existence in terms of our roh, qalb, aqal and jasad, and how our nafs, our self, which is now linked to this physical body in this dunya will then transcend this physical dunya to the realm which Allah has ordained beyond this world, in the realm of akhirah, which will be the continuous journey for us at the next stage of our existence with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. So as long as we are on this earth, we have been commanded to do mercy and compassion, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, all the time thinking about mercy and compassion, fill it up with Ghafurul Wadud, forgiveness and love, and then inshallah strive to be a true and sincere servant of Allah and His Caliph on this earth, always striving to make ourselves good, help others to be good, and make the world good, inshallah.